Baruch Hashem. Okay, so we're in Parshas Bo, and I'm not sure what to learn first. Very, very yishmak. You know, today was the Yortzeit of the Rav Zushia, so we're going to talk a little about him as well. That's Hashem. Come on, or Rav Tzaddok. Rav Tzaddok, we were just talking about this beautiful, what does it mean to be a Jew? That's... Anyway, someone asked me to find a source for something where it's always talks about Shvat. I have this really good Mateches that goes through it very well, so I found it for him. And I have this marked the same Machshavas Choros at different marked pieces, so I looked here and there, and I found a really good pair. I didn't use that piece, I wasn't interested in using, although it's beautiful as always, but this piece I really wanted to talk about. Yetzias Mitzrayim. Yetzias Mitzrayim. So what's Yetzias Mitzrayim? That's the question. What's happening in Yetzias Mitzrayim? The beginning of the Jewish people was Yetzias Mitzrayim. I always bring from the Moral. Moral says the Jewish people were not a people in Egypt. We came as a family, we were slaves. We left Egypt as God's nation. Right? That's just a fact. So now, why is it that Mitzrayim was the ultimate key? What happened there? That something occurred that made us the Jewish people. Now we're Jewish people. What does it mean to be of the Jewish people? What does that mean? What's the so Tzadok goes in his own beautiful way. So that's when we left Mitzrayim. That began the creation of the Jewish people. Then we became built to be one nation, one unique nation in the world for Hashem. In the beginning, the Abbas were individuals who recognized Hashem. They weren't a nation yet. Even Yaakov, his bed was complete, but you wouldn't call them the nation. It was not so many people, not so much going on, and you don't know. Who knows? Maybe later things would go not so well with his children. You didn't know. Yeah. He said, even those, what about the people who are immersed completely in this world? In this world, the worldly things. That's where they are. He said, being part of the Jewish people means you have a shorish, your source, your root is connected to Hashem. No matter what you do, that's the fact. That's the shorish, the source of emunah, that they believe that believers are son of believers, and this belief stays in us. When Moshe Rabbeinu came and he said, Hashem wants to take out of Mitzrayim, right away they woke up. And the schus of the emunah, that's what the Gula, you bring the Gula. We know that's the Medrash says, the Mal brings also, and that's Yisrael, makes it very strong. But the more we work on the emunah, the more we move the karach for the Gula. That's the schus of the emunah, which comes the Gula. He said, because when you wake up the emunah, you arouse the illumination within yourself. Slowly, a little bit at a time, until you go out from the darkness to a big light. Because emunah is the beginning of grasping Hashem's Shechinah in the lower beings. We want to live with Hashem. We want to be with Hashem. That's what we want to be, and you can be that way. You want to be with Hashem. You want to connect to Hashem, and that's something you have an absolute choice. It's totally a choice. So like I said, I talked a little about Rav Zushia. So the Rav Zushia, he once got up to give a little direction to the community, to a shul, and he said, Hashem loves so much the Jewish people, so much. He loves us so much. He said, how could we not do things that are not what he wants? How do you do things that are the opposite of what he wants? He loves so much. He has such a tremendous love for Jewish people that everyone started to cry. You really get to this place where you understand that Hashem loves so much that we have to really connect. We have to really be one with Him, and that's something we have the ability to do. It's totally our choice. It's totally our choice. He says, you have this tremendous emunah, every person, every single Jew. He said, that's why Habakkuk came and put the whole Torah on one thing. The tzaddik will live in his emunah. We all have this tremendous emunah. We live and we're sustained. Our tefillos also. It's emunah. He said, unfortunately, we don't necessarily have a clear, revealed hasaga. We don't really necessarily grasp this always. It's going to be very difficult. The person can really be in this worldly things, and like, he forgets everything. He forgets spirituality. He forgets everything. He becomes a merkava for bad things. He becomes a vehicle for bad things, for negative things, right? You let the rosh shtus in, and then you're in trouble. Like I always say from the Riziner, I think the Piazesta brings it also. He says, what do you mean? If you don't sin except with the rosh shtus, so you didn't do it, why are you responsible? Why am I responsible? If I didn't do the sin, why did I sin? Because the spirit of folly took me over. So why am I responsible? What did I do? So he says, don't let it in. He said, you're responsible because you let it in. Once you let it in, you have a problem. But don't let it in. You have a big kedusha. He talks about going to sleep with a good mindset. Right? The Chosavova says, how you sleep is how you're going to wake up. You're going to sleep properly, so you wake up properly. You go to sleep, you know what I mean? It's like it can lower you if you're in a low state of being. You want to be in a higher state of being, in an elevated state of being. And that's so again, we're starting with this with Tzaddik because you have this aspect of he's really going to go to this place of like, okay, so take the worst Jew. He said he has emunah believe, like he wake up, like he's like, okay, maybe let's see. Like he's going to go in a very interesting place with that. That's one of the reasons why this struck me. And that's this aspect again. Mitzrayim, because we know Mitzrayim is meitzor yam when a person is very, very constricted. And yam is also Mitzrayim is also meitzar me. It's me meitzar. You don't even know he doesn't even know what he's constricted. He doesn't even know what's constricting him. What's going on. He doesn't understand what's going on with him. So Parshas Ha'oref, where he says, power is the back of the neck, because you don't even know it's like grab you by the back of the neck, scruff of the neck, and you're kind of like you're in his complete control, and you can't really do anything. That's what power is. You have this aspect of the Yitzhar, and you can't really get it. You feel constricted. You don't even like this me meitzah. Like what's going on? I'm sort of something's wrong. He doesn't even know what's wrong. He doesn't even know what's that's Mitzrayim, and that's the bechirah of power. He said, this emunah is very deep in every Jew. He said, even people who did the worst of errors, this emunah is still strong in their hearts. He says, well known that many people who were big sinners were most in nafsham and kish Hashem. Some of them were nefesh, and they're willing to do anything. It's an amazing thing. And like the sages say, derech begodav, that smell the scent of his clothes, right? So it's begidov, the reach, the scent of the person who, the rebeller, the person who betrayer. But still, inside he has the emunah, and you have to wake it up. But that's really who we really are. That's where we're really holding. Even a person didn't have ever a hero tshuva, never thought about God. He's in a very physical, not a good place. And they went off the derech. He became converted to another religion, lahaches, because he's so anti for whatever reason. He said, nevertheless, he said, if they'll tell them Mashiach David's here, they're definitely going to believe, say, and do tshuva, complete tshuva. And even if the person that they're not going to listen to all the people say, well, people are gullible, who knows what really happens. He said, when the shofar is blown and they're called, they'll come. So they have a shorish, a murdical shorish, the deepest part of the heart. He said, that's really what we're talking about. And that's what we got. That's the aspect of what taking us out of Mitzrayim is about. Mitzrayim, we had to forge this deep, deep link that cannot be eradicated no matter what you do. Like we were saying before, the Avera is not you. It's the Ruach Shtus. But on the other hand, you have to make a decision that I want to pick things out. That's the famous story with the Rav Zushia, right? He was walking along and there was this non-Jewish wagon driver. He said, please help me with the hay. And in the language he was using, I don't know if it was Polish or whatever it was, German, I'm not really sure, but whatever language it was, the guy knew enough to call hay was called hay. He said, help me pick up the hay. Put it on the wagon. So Rav Zushia said, no, I can't. So this non-Jewish wagon driver said to him, listen, don't say you can't. You can. You don't want to. You can't. So he said, "Rebbe's min hashamayim." I'm supposed to pick up the Hei Acharina of the name of Hashem. We're supposed to uplift the bechirah, the lower aspects of the bechirah. It says Yud K. Hashem made kibakash and surah lamim. The Gemara says that Hashem formed the worlds with Ka, Yud K. Yud is the next world, and K is this world. So how do I pick up this world? That's the bechirah. It's called the Shechinah. The Shechinah is really bringing God's presence into us, into this world, into what we do, into connecting. So that's something which is you. He's like, you think you can't, but you can. You just don't want to enough. You don't really feel that. You don't really know that. So that's this Indian. That's really what this bechirah, what Yitzchak time was about. Leaving Mitzrayim and all of these beautiful things that we're doing. The first thing is to realize is that this is not me. That really, it's not who I am. So of course, this is not meant to say that a person says like, oh, see, being a bechirah so it's not so bad. See, it's full of emunah. It's beautiful, That's so chas shalom, a person can do. So then, therefore, he gets a license to do anything he wants because, in the end, he's a good guy. That's not what this is meant to be. As Rav Morgenstern warns, and I don't know, so far this has been difficult for some reason to get on tape, but I'll try it again. Right? Rav Morgenstern points, hopefully he'll continue. Best Hashem is a beautiful yesod in understanding Ishbitz. Many people misunderstand Ishbitz. I actually made a yid. He said I learned for over 5 years with someone, Chavrusa in Ishbitz, and the guy went off the derech. He had a Chavrusa about Tshuva, and learned Ishbitz so deeply that the guy went off, he just, I don't have to be religious anyway. The Mei Shulech. You don't have to be religious. It's okay. I'm holy. Everything's holy. So I told him you're not teaching it right. If people go off the derech, you don't understand it. For all that you can explain the words, maybe you understand the Kabbalistic concepts, but you just don't get it. Because the concept, the idea is, the Ishbitz, like the Morgenstern always says, is about, or I don't know always, but it says, it explains this beautiful yesod, it's about yediyah. There's two different aspects, and they're both true. There's the point of view there's the side of the coin that's bechirah. Everything's your choice. It has to do with you. On the other hand, there's the side of the coin that has to do with, it's all from Hashem. Someone comes over to you and for no reason slaps you in the face. Okay, so on the one hand, Hashem's giving you a message. On the other hand, you can take this guy, it could be he owes you money for boshes and for all sorts of things. There are specific halachas. What does he have to do? Does he have to pay you and how much? And he certainly always has to ask you mechila, and there's all sorts of things you can do. Someone comes into your house and starts screaming at the top of his lungs. Why? Because he wants to make you uncomfortable. Someone actually asked Rav Yasha. My uncle was there when someone asked Rav Yasha this question. He's like, am I allowed to call the police? Call the police. Maybe he'll punish him more seriously than what he deserves. I'll be, if you take it to bed, he's like, on the other hand, the guy's screaming his lungs out of my house. He's like, yeah, you can call the police, no problem. So on the one hand, the guy comes to your house, it's a rebus from Hashem, it means whatever it means, you're supposed to be crying out to Hashem and davening, or maybe, who knows what it means. But on the other hand, the guy's choosing to come into your house and scream his lungs out, and you could choose to call the cops too. And then he could also say, wow, I really lost it, call the police, and now I have to deal with it. There's always these two both sides of the coin. So Ishbitz, when you talk about these sort of concepts, these sort of teachings, that's mostly meant to arouse your connection to Hashem. And like the Rav Zushia, Hashem loves you so much, what are you doing the opposite of what he wants? It's not meant to say, oh, so if the guy goes to McDonald's, that's fine, chas v'shalom, because he's holy, and he has deep emunah, that's true, he's holy, he has deep emunah, and it's not okay to go to McDonald's. Even though he can do tshuva, he can turn that into a schus, and after you turn it into a schus, but doing tshuva me'ahava, so maybe it was good that he did it, but that doesn't mean you don't get to say, oh, so let's do other chas v'shalom averus, and then we'll deepen even more, make even better tshuva. That's what you think. That's not how it works. B'chalal, we know the rule is that again the Rav Zushia says beautiful, such unbelievable Torah. We'll be learning because when we learn the Ari Befrat, we'll talk because he really is one of the big sources that a lot of his forum is malbish avoda a lot in the Ari beautifully, wondrously. So one of the things that he brings the Gemara says that Avera is mechaba mitzvah. In other words, it as it were extinguishes the koch of the mitzvah. He says, so how do you continue? So the only exception, there's two exceptions. Exception number one we know is Torah. That's the Gemara says. We're saying Gemara and there. Torah cannot extinguish it. So if you learn Torah, you can sort of wake that up. So like we were saying before, and that's exactly the idea. You have inside you a neshama. I have a neshama. The other is not the goof. You're talking about my body. Whose body? Whose body? Whose body? It's my body. Is the body you, or the body just? It's kind of like this really good horse that holds your stuff that you need the way it's supposed to think, but it's this, it's a vehicle. It's meant for something. It's not a it's not meant to be in a matzav where this is you. So it's this idea again. He brings this a concept. A person called Adam. You're called Adam. What's Adam? Adam is a big level. Enosh is the lower level. So because that's what's inside is the real person. What's giving the animation is the real person. Right? We were speaking about this before. I don't remember before. No, maybe we were taping, I guess. Right? So it's this idea of the Adam. The Adam is the part that gives animation. Right? That gives koyach to who the person is. I'm thinking of taping actually. But that's what the matter is. You're Adam. So when you do an avera, you're mechaber the mitzvah. You extinguish it in a certain way, and it's very hard to arouse it or wake it up. So Torah, when you have Torah that holds on, it gives you the ability to make a new start. Of course, you can be most nefesh, you become like Nosson. You can be a ger. Why is a ger different? The guy, he says tshuva. He's like, I'm kalos mitzvahs. He goes to the mikveh. Maybe there's a bris. Okay, fine, very good. Woman doesn't even need to do a bris, right? No bris necessary. And suddenly he or she is Jewish. And says, why is if you do that, take on a serious Kabbalah, you're any less than him? Why not? You don't even have to become a Jew. You're already a Jew. That's amazing. And Rav Nosson says, no, I don't know. You think, and if you do 500 like that, he said, that's incredible. You're supposed to be aiming for Tshuva Mehava, for connection, for being one with Hashem. That's the idea. So there's one of the mitzvah that he brings from the Ari. There's one of the mitzvah that Averas cannot extinguish. What's that mitzvah? Who can guess? I would not have necessarily gotten the guess, yeah?
Stucca?
Yes, excellent. Stucca Tafim Mobis, but all else that he says, Stucca does not, and I don't know if I would have got it. Not sure. There's a lot of good mitzvahs. But Stucca does not, it also doesn't put it out. He says, so these are mitzvahs that help a person sort of like get it, like wake him up, or like make things happen. There's actually a discussion, you're supposed to give Stucca at a certain point before davening and a certain point in davening. So what about doing a tova? If you do something chesed, is that like Stucca or not? Stucca means 50 agorot, a quarter, I don't know exactly, whatever you give, right? The minimum, right? Something. Or it means you did something, so it's also a bechirah. The Rosh Hashanah says that if you do something, it is a bechirah. The Knesset says it's not. Well, the suffering, the different mahalachim had a...
This is for the Balatanya explanation of why it's so great.
What again?
Balatanya gives a certain explanation based on the Gemara why Stucca is so great, but giving...
No, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that some people, you could see it either way. Is that called, maybe only asked the before davening, maybe it doesn't mean this thing about not being extinguished. It doesn't say Gmiz Chasadim, it says Stucca. But it says Gmiz Chasadim the way is higher. You can make the unim, you can talk about it. It's, emunah is also a bechirah of Stucca. Emunah also, you can tell they're different in Yanim. It's certainly at a certain level, there's emunah that's very high. But in B'kitzur, the Ishbitz, the people who were real Ishbitz Chassidim, were understood that every instant, every second, no matter what, is directly from Hashem, is directly with Hashem, so they were living with Hashem. And that's the purpose of the book. Not to say, well, you're so holy and pure, and, if you live with McDonald's, that's just fine. If you're not on the level, you're not on the level. Okay, it's hard for you, we understand. You don't understand what kosher is about, you don't get it, we understand. That doesn't mean it's a good thing. It doesn't mean, great, well, kol hakavod. No, not great. I'm sorry about that, and you have to work on it, It's Hashem, you have to be zocher. The person can't show him Shabbos. Like you said, the word posher, he'll listen to Mashiach's call, he'll get it, he'll figure it out. That's part of being Jewish. He can make it, he can manage. Like what do you mean? You can manage, but the question is, are you managing it? Right? You have this is exactly the question, right? That's exactly the inyan, right? So we know the that's another bechirah. That's another inyan. Yeah, with the Beis Yisrael, never threw anybody out of the shtibel, no matter what they were doing. He didn't want to throw people out. I don't know what today. I don't know exactly, but the Beis Yisrael was very. It was at the Holocaust, especially. He was very, very careful with people. So the guy coming to the shtibel, you don't throw him out. I don't care what he's doing, because he would say after Rav Zushia also, he'd say that there's that we're called derech puchos, like we make upheaval, which means doing simple. It means doing things not so good, making trouble, as it were, instigators, as it were, right? So it means you can a Jewish person, no matter what he's going, what he's doing, how far he's messed up, he can transform himself in 1 second, just like that. Suddenly, Yehudi told from nowhere, he's good to Yid, go Yid. What happens? It's something you have to find that part of you and wake it up. That's our job. That's what we're looking to do. And Bez Hashem, we're gonna speak about it, Bez Hashem. So that's the first thing. Yitzias Mitzrayim, all of these bechinas, all of these inyanim have to do with trying to remember that Hashem takes us out of Mitzrayim. Hashem is the one who takes us out of Mitzrayim. We want to get to this place of this deep-seated emunah. We already spoke about one of the things Rav Tzaddok says, and we might return to this question as well. What is Yitzias Mitzrayim teaching me? Yitzias Mitzrayim is teaching me about sometimes teaching me that there's never despair, you can never give up. Because the left from the 4.5 level of Torah, the worst place. But now he's saying something else, which is that it's teaching me that emunah is enough to take you out of any place. You just have to wake up that emunah. You have to find that place. You have to find the derech, because you have to turn the ability to transform yourself. And you have to be careful from the ruch shtus and the averetz mechaba mitzvah, and try to stay connected in whatever way, however much, in whatever manner you can. So that's Rav Tzaddok. Hashem. I think so. Thank you.